I've been thinking a lot lately about the show Station 11. It was a show on HBO that came out a few years ago. Incredible show. Highly recommend. This is not an examination of that show or a review. It's more just a thematic idea that seems especially resonant right now. Essentially, the show is about a traveling theater troupe at the end of the world. The apocalypse of sorts has happened. A flu has wiped out 99% of people, and they are traveling around performing Shakespeare in this reality. And they have this phrase that they say on the show, which I think is the thing that I've been really marinating on and thinking about recently in light of the world, in light of how stressful things feel on a global scale. And they say the phrase, the sort of mantra is, survival is insufficient. And the idea is, it is not enough to just have food and shelter and not die. But we must have more. We must feel and connect and create and share and experience. And that is as essential to being a human as water in your canteen and food in your backpack. I have found myself in the last few months feeling a lot of cynicism. The state of the world, the state of things in general feels bad. And that cynicism, that feeling of taking in so much bad information that you just start to become a little numb to it. In terms of what it does to me on a day-to-day level, it leads to apathy. I find myself feeling unwilling or unable to move forward with some of the creative ideas that I would like to. Uninspired. Even though I'm interested in doing it, I feel this malaise. And I think a large part of it, if I'm honest with myself, is I ask myself, well, what is the point? What is the point of this? This is not going to solve anything. This is not going to help anyone. This is just like goofy, silly nonsense, right? That's where my head goes, especially because a lot of the stuff that I've been a part of, which I'm so proud of over the years, has often been comedic, funny, entertaining. Within that, I think often there is a lot of emotion and empathy to be mined from some of those stories, but often it is very funny. It is very goofy. And so then when you're looking at the world and like everything wrong, you go, does anybody need more of me in the world? Like, and that questioning becomes apathy, and the apathy leads me to inaction. And I've been asking myself, like, what is the antidote to this? How do I get out of this cycle of sabotaging momentum and progress and inspiration, self-sabotaging before I've even started? And that's why I was thinking a lot about Station 11, because you see these characters, despite the fact that everything is gone, society as they know it, all the systems, all the structures, all the resources for help, family, friends, cities, it's all collapsed. So it's like, what is there left? It's just them. It's just each other. And in that, in their complete helplessness, there is still so much meaning to be found in the act of creating, in the act of communing through story. And that it's as essential to being a human as those other necessary things, food, shelter, water, that to just have the resources for survival does not a human make. That to feel, that to play, like these things are as essential to retaining your humanity as the stuff that you need to survive. Now, obviously, we are not there yet. And obviously that's a very, not want to say hyperbolic, because in the show it's reality, but it's very far away from where we are in reality right now for most people. And yet having access to a just constant stream of the worst news and the worst things happening at all times being beamed directly into your eyes and your ears and your soul, it can begin to wear on you and have the effect where it does feel like the world is crumbling. It does feel like you're at the end of the world. And then the idea of creating something, of making something, feels like, what's the point? Well, shouldn't I just put my head in the sand and just like survive? So that's where I've been living mentally and emotionally. And no wonder I've been struggling to activate on creativity. But, and I'm not saying this to make the work that we do, creators, artists, performers, anything more important than it is. Because I don't know. I don't think that me writing and making a movie and putting out in the world is going to solve many problems. But I know it forces me to step outside of my cynicism. It forces me to reckon with my apathy. It is the antidote to cynicism. It is the antidote to nihilism, is to create, is to make things with other people, is to have the courage to put them out into the world. That takes radical courage. It's hard. It's scary to do that. And I think that when you think about like, well, what are stories to humans? Like, what is the function of stories? I think a lot of people, and you can see this in how arts funding is constantly getting slashed, and how just a general sense of like, these things aren't that important compared to finance and industry. And it's like, sure, like doing a play in a theater does not build a tower. It does not make a factory. But telling stories is how we as humans, for as long as we've existed, have processed what all this means, what all this is about. There's a wonderful clip of Ethan Hawke talking about the value of art. People devalue art until you go through crisis, until you go through heartbreak. And then the only thing that is healing, that you can grab onto is a poem, is a lyric, is a song. Art reminds us of our humanity.
It's not a luxury, it's actually sustenance. We need it. Okay, well, what is it? Human creativity is nature manifest in us.
And as we remove ourselves from it, we become less and less and less of what makes us human.
I believe that we are here on this star in space to try to help one another, right? And first we have to survive, and then we have to thrive. And to thrive, to express ourselves, all right, well, here's the rub. We have to know ourselves.
And so I'm reminded of this. I'm reminded of that. And so as I am struggling with cynicism and struggling to question, like, what's the point? I remember that storytelling is not just about me making something that hopefully entertains people. And yeah, I would like for it to. A lot of the stuff that I've done, goofy, silly, funny, and I think it's great, and I want to put it out there, and I want people to love it, and I want people to enjoy it. But also, the act of me creating, the act of me risking, the act of me doing that is for me, a practice in apathy, a practice in putting myself into the shoes of somebody else and exploring what it is to be that person. And as an audience member, the same thing. When I go and watch a film, when I go watch a play, when I read a book, when I look at a painting, listen to a song, I am taking myself for a moment, all the things that I'm focused on, and I'm putting those in the back of my mind, and I'm turning my emotional energy and my attention towards something else and allowing myself to feel something and to be moved by someone else's story. And often I see myself in their story. Apathy is rampant, a lack of empathy, a lack of feeling what it is to go through somebody else's experience, othering other people and saying their experience is irrelevant. All that matters is me, and I'm going to get mine and what I want. Apathy puts you into a situation where you say, I don't care about anybody else. I don't care about what anybody else needs. I'm just going to get my thing that I want. I'm going to get what I can take out of this life. Empathy is the radical opposite of it. It says, focus on other people. Put your attention on others and ask what they need. Ask what they're going through. Feel what they're going through. Don't just, oh, I feel bad for you. Actually take it on and feel it. And that is what stories do for you. That is what art is. So for me, storytelling is the antidote to apathy. It is the practice of empathy in actuality of forcing myself to get outside of myself. Can we also practice empathy in everyday life? 100% we should. We need to, desperately. So this is not an excuse to say like, oh, well, I'm empathetic in my art and then I can be a dick to everybody else in my real life. No, but the idea is it is a practice in this. It's like going to the gym and lifting your emotional empathy muscles and training them so that you can put them into practice in the real world, in your real life. And it is as essential to being human as the food you're going to eat tomorrow, as the water you're going to drink. It's what makes being alive worth experiencing. So that's kind of where I'm at in terms of, I'm not like, I have not figured this out yet. I am not 100% like, I'm over it. I've put behind my cynicism and I'm ready to go, but I'm working on it. And I'm reminding myself that in those times where it feels hopeless, when it feels like worthless to even try, that is that nihilism creeping in. And I have to do the opposite. I have to create. Because it reminds me, it forces me to be a human every single day. To be connected, to be listening, to be feeling, to be thinking outside of myself. And I think that's a beautiful thing that we as artists can put into the world. Not just as an escape, but as a mechanism to allow other people to see themselves, to be seen, to see other people, to think of others they never would have thought of, and to be just a little bit more human every single day.